Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to Shorty September. Doesn't feel like September all of a sudden. It feels like high summer, boiling hot, broiling humidity, day after day after day here in Boston. It feels like high summer. 85 degrees, close to 90 degrees, 85% humidity, rationing outside time, all of a sudden being in danger of overheating in mid-September. But nevertheless, it is September, and we are doing Shorty September, which is a BookTube event that concentrates on shorter works, 250 pages or fewer. On the theory that they sometimes don't get a lot of love, people make a lot of long reading projects out of longer works, and certainly don't get as much love from me as they could. I love longer books, just love them. And yet, a huge number of the books that I have loved in my reading life have been very short. So I'm going through I'm rereading some choice shorties for Shorty September, and this is the one I want to show you today by Tom Long, with illustrations by Jay Johnson. This is New England Nature Watch. It's about 160 pages, and it's a collection that I dreamed of having. This thing came out in 2003, so before we were talking to each other. But I dreamed of this collection long before it appeared, because Tom Long's New England Nature Watch column used to appear in the Boston Globe on a regular basis with gorgeous brushed artwork that I just loved. It was one of the only things that appeared regularly in the Globe that I actually cut out and kept. And when this book showed up and I could finally just buy a copy, I went through my files, found all of those clippings, threw them away. I don't need them anymore. I'm not going to consult them again. They're really inhospitable to read. Old clippings are really inhospitable to read, unless you do what I do with book reviews, which is to pull them out of their journal, trim all their edges except for the date. If the date is printed, save that. Then fold them 4/4 like a napkin and tuck them inside the book they're about. Well, I'm perfectly able, and it's perfectly comfortable to pull out one of those things, unfold it, and read it when you've got the book in your lap. But otherwise, old clippings, I used to keep whole filing cabinets of them. Now I not only get rid of the clippings, I got rid of the filing cabinets. But they finally appeared as a book. And what this does is go through New England nature by months with these gorgeous illustrations. So you get July. They did a wonderful printing job here. You get a longer essay, and then you get a breakdown of date by date. And this is not following any one patch. It's not... God help us. Sarah, the bookish knitter, is watching at all times. It's not following any one narrative. Instead, what Long is doing is going through the year date by date in terms of what happens. On this particular date in April, what blossoms? What birds return in this particular week? In this particular week in March, where will you see white-tailed deer? And what will they be doing? And it's lovely. It's just wonderfully, wonderfully done. And the illustrations certainly help. It's just a perfect example of how you take a gem from newspaper publication and render it into a book you're going to want to keep forever. I'm pretty sure that this thing is out of print. 2003 was a long time ago. I didn't think I'd be here in 2024. I didn't think I'd be here. And I go back to this regularly. A lot of this is still true. This New England Nature Watch book, I keep in mind, like a lot of things that I talk about in Shorty September and elsewhere, is premised on 4 seasons: summer, fall, spring, and winter. And southern New England doesn't have 4 seasons anymore. And when I was reading these things in the 1990s and the 1980s, when I was exploring New England nature and kettle ponds in the woods of Cape Cod and Martha's Vineyard, earlier than that, the one thing I was thinking would not happen is that nature itself would change. I thought nature might get polluted, and that we might need to make a lot of concerted efforts to clean up rivers and streams and whatnot. But I didn't think that nature itself would change. So as every year goes on, I mean, 2024 is going to be the hottest year on record, breaking the hottest year on record, the previous hottest year on record, which was 2023, which broke the record which was held by 2022, which broke the record that was held by 2021. In most parts of the United States, certainly the southern United States, there is no winter anymore. There is a fire season because it doesn't rain, but there's no winter. last winter on the calendar that we had in New England, here in southern New England, we had 2 cold days and no snow. We haven't had a permanent killing frost in a decade here. I predict that this winter, the temperatures won't even go below freezing. Certainly won't have any snow or sleet. Not a chance. No chance whatsoever. But I predict that the temperatures won't even go below freezing Fahrenheit, 32 degrees. Maybe one freakish day where all the newscasters talk about it, but otherwise, no. Not even below freezing. And that most of the winter will be walk around in shirt sleeves weather in Boston. And we'll see if I'm right about that, because I'm sure I'll be going to the Brattle. And if it's a daytime high of 71 degrees Fahrenheit on the 3rd of December, I'm not going to wear a winter coat just because of the date on the calendar. This is firmly set in that world, that traditional world where right around now, right around mid-September, it would start to get a little chillier. By mid-October, it would start to be actually chilly and cold at night. By mid-November, we would be in winter. By mid-December, we would be in the heart of winter. It would be snowing often. There would be snow staying on the ground. The nights would be dark and iron cold. The mornings would be freezing. This is set in that world and reflects the habits of the wild animals that had to live in that world. I love it. I just love going through it. It's also sparsely, wonderfully done, that it's perfect for browsing. So there you go. There is a Shorty September pick for this year. This is New England Nature Watch. How I wish there were a book like this for every area of the United States. What I wouldn't give for a Midwest Nature Watch, if there is such a thing, and I don't know about it, let me know about it, Midwest or the Pacific Northwest or whatever. Books like this just endlessly fascinate me. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. Thank you.